The acceleration is probably the most defining thing about this car. It pulls like you would not believe. The numbers building, look at the numbers. So hello, welcome back yet again to Abu Dhabi Yas Marina circuit. Today we're down here in the evening, which is my favorite time to be at Yas Marina. As the title of this video would suggest, tonight is very special because it's not only my first drive in an SF90, I'm not taking it on the street, I'm taking it on the track. Yas Marina International F1 circuit, which to be fair, when you've got 1,000 horsepower under your right foot, it's probably the most appropriate stretch of tarmac to experience such a vehicle. So as a quick overview first, and then we'll immerse you in the sort of first-person view of what it's like to pilot 1,000 Ferrari ponies. This is now Ferrari's, effectively their flagship car, or at least their flagship production car. The Icona series sort of sits alongside it and above it, but in terms of cars which mere mortals can access, this is their flagship car. On paper, it's faster than a La Ferrari. I'm sure in reality, with four-wheel drive at 1,000 horsepower connected to a hybrid drivetrain, it's probably faster than a La Ferrari as well. Fascinatingly, the flat plane crank turbocharged and hybrid propelled V8 sits incredibly low. I'm still yet to find a camera angle to do it justice, but the center of gravity of this car must sit so low because the engine's just in this sort of cave down there. You can barely see it. So it's running a 4-litre twin turbocharged Ferrari engine, and it has 3 electric motors, one mounted on the transmission and one on each front wheel. Now today we're driving the standard SF90, if you can call anything with 1,000 brake horsepower standard, in comparison to the Assetto Fiorano packed SF90 that we conveniently happen to have parked over here. So in contrast to this car, the Assetto Fiorano pack is an optional upgrade that you can apply to the car, which makes it slightly more track biased. It improves the aero, it strips out weight, and it lowers the ride height, just making it that little bit more precise should you want to take it on circuit. But today we're starting at the entry level of their 1,000 brake horsepower variant in the sort of standard street configuration. Now the car is running an 8-speed twin clutch gearbox. The hybrid unit develops 220 horsepower. The rest comes from the internal combustion engine. You can drive it on e-power alone, as the 2 inlet ports here would suggest. You can fill one side with fuel and one side with electricity, so it is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And it'll be fascinating to feel the 4-wheel drive system. The reason I say that is because this is actually Ferrari's first 4-wheel drive, important, sports car. We know they've made FF and they've made Lusso, but as a sports car platform, a supercar platform, this is their first attempt at it. So it'll be fascinating to see how it feels when you get up to speed. Kind of standard stuff now, running incredibly powerful and very large carbon ceramic brakes. There's very trick aero on it. 0 to 62 is around about 2.5 seconds, and it will go over 200 miles an hour. Despite the fact that the straights here are very long, I don't think we're going to be achieving that today. All in all, the whole purpose of this is to try and put you behind the wheel with me. Anyway, less talking. Let's go out and drive it really quickly. I'm here with Paolo.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. This is what we would call an above average day.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to be here. This is actually the first time I will have driven SF90 on track. Today, thankfully, we have the full Yas Marina circuit, full length. There's a chicane down the long straight, but other than that, we're good to go. So off we go. This pit exit's always odd to me. It's kind of on the line, right?
Yeah.
It's a funny one. Okay. All right, and there it is. So predictably, 1,000 horsepower through a 4-wheel drive system feels remarkable. The traction is incredible. Look at that. Not sure if you can see the numbers on screen here, but they are quite something. There you go. That's interesting because it does feel a bit heavier than the non-hybrid cars from the brand, but it more than makes up for it in pretty remarkable levels of agility. And the acceleration is probably the most defining thing about this car. It pulls feels like you would not believe. The numbers building, look at the numbers. There we go. Turbocharged because of the, I mean, there's 3 electric motors on this car, 2 on the wheels, 1 on the drive direct. Pull is savage. Slow stuff, despite the 4-wheel drive, there's minimal understeer as well. It just feels so, it's confidence inspiring.
And we need to cool down the brakes.
Okay, cool.
What do you think?
I think it's great. It's fast as hell, right? I mean, it is super fast. And this isn't
so stable.
Yeah, it's so stable, and this isn't even the Assetto Fiorano version.
Yeah.
And but the momentum it builds, I mean, it gathers pace, man.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay, that was fascinating. I guess it's no surprise, the defining feature, I guess, of the car is the acceleration. We've got the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s on that on very hot tarmac, so the traction available was savage. Just relentless, relentless pull. I said as I drove back in the pits, the closest thing I've experienced to it is something like a Chiron, only it weighs a lot less, so you're getting that sort of hypercar acceleration, but through corners and under braking, it's obviously lighter than something like a Veyron or a Chiron. That being said, you can still tell that there is inherently more weight in it because of its hybrid drivetrain. It has 3 electric motors in there, hybrid battery pack. You can drive it in EV mode, so it is a more substantial battery pack, and so you can feel the weight there. And of course, it's 4-wheel drive as well, so there's a lot of kit packed into that car. Sounds a bit like this. So it's not the most exotic sounding car, but when you're in it, all of that sort of goes out of the window because it sort of distorts your diaphragm under full load. Braking's still incredible despite its extra weight, and the calibration of the 4-wheel drive too. There was a little bit of understeer, but the overall experience of it, now weirdly, despite the fact that I was on track today, I reckon that particular car, which is the non-Assetto Fiorano pack, would probably be better out on the road. I'd be fascinated to experience back-to-back what the Assetto Fiorano pack provides from a driving experience on the circuit. On the road, you couldn't get anywhere near that thing. The performance is just absurd. So fascinating to feel it and experience it. It's very much a look at the future of the brand. Let's see how it goes. As always, thanks so much for watching. We shall see you next time. Ciao.